All right, we are joined by Dr. Mark Konecky. He is a psychologist. You have seen him speak with Heather and me for the past few months during the pandemic about a bevy of topics. Today we are talking about masks on children and now how this could be problematic as the kids get ready to head back towards school, whether that's in person or at home. Mark, what can you tell us about that right off the top?
Okay, well, having worked with kids in my office and in my backyard with masks, masks are very difficult for all of us. I find as an adult, it makes it hard to breathe. It gets moist and sticky, and if you need to blow your nose, you can't, and you feel like a little bit claustrophobic, like you're choking. It's very difficult. I need to plan in my day times at least every hour where I'm going to go to a place where I can take my mask off, even if it's for 30 seconds, and blow my nose, wipe my face, and get some air. We need to help kids with that. The school needs to help kids be able to do that because they're going to have a worse time with it. Because as adults, we have all of our strengths and coping mechanisms to keep us going when things are uncomfortable. And kids, of course, and as is appropriate, don't have the same resources. So they're going to be more frustrated than we are. The other thing is that I notice is that I have yet to see a kid who can wear a mask properly for more than 10 minutes at a time. If they don't take it off, it falls off. And as the person who is the adult and is a little bit worried about catching COVID, I'm fine because I'm keeping my mask on airtight the whole time, so I know I'm not giving it. But I also don't want to catch it. So I do feel my anxiety go up when the kids' masks fall off. But I have to give a gentle correction, but it takes every ounce of training to stay patient with them. When an hour session, it's 4, 5, 6 times that I'm asking someone to a kid to pull up their mask and readjust. So I think that the only way we can get through it is to take heart that we're all in the same boat and to muster every ounce of patience that we have, because kids are not going to respond well if we get impatient with them about this. It's very hard. And also, like, schools should build in rewards for kids properly wearing their masks. So every 5 minutes, the teacher might want to stop and say, wow, I see everyone wearing their mask really well. And let's see, I can see one person who isn't. Oh, I wonder if that person can correct themselves. Oh my goodness, now everybody has their mask on. Yay, okay, everybody gets a point. And then keep reinforcing that all day long, because that's going to be the better way to get compliance.
I'm just thinking, Mark, it's actually hard to hear people when they're wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an issue in schools.
Yes, I agree. I have to, just in my little office, I have to speak way louder than I normally would. And I can't always hear what the person is saying, adult or child. It's a real adjustment.
And are you saying that schools should actually build in time when kids can be in a space not wearing the mask, particularly young kids?
Yeah. I think they have to make as part of the day some kind of structured way of filing a few kids out at a time to be in an outdoor or a giant area where they can take their masks off and rebreathe for a few minutes and then return. Also, parents are going to need to send extra masks. There isn't a kid who hasn't dropped their mask on the floor in my office. In my office, it's fine because nobody's going to trample on it or whatever. But in a school, just imagine they're going to end up on the floor. They're going to end up in someone's hair. They're going to end up with chewing gum in them. Kids are going to sneeze in them. We need extra masks, either provided by the school. I think that's fine. But also, parents can send in for their kid's desk, a little box of masks.
I have one more question. We've been doing this since March, all this mask wearing, and I'm still not used to it. It's still disturbing to me to go into a grocery store and see everybody wearing a mask, or I was just in downtown Rockport and everybody's wearing a mask. Do you have any explanation for that?
Yeah, in psychology, we know that humans evolved to be really, we think we got where we are as humans because we're probably the most social and the most socially complex animal on the planet. And all of our, not all, but a lot of our communication goes through facial expression. And also, we like to be close to one another. And through evolution, even though we've had our share of diseases, humans have gotten through most evolution without having to socially distance. During plague times, that's been different, and there's been notably upticks in a lot of signs of pathology during plague times when people have to stay far apart. So we kind of evolved to not wear masks, to show our faces. And when you go down the street, even though you're thinking, okay, I'm protecting my brother or my sister by wearing this mask, and they're protecting me, so it is a pro-social gesture. But at the same time, what's underneath is like one of us could be infected, and we don't like to think of ourselves that way. We don't like to think of other people that way. So we're highly resistant to these kinds of precautions, and it's going to be, an aversive mitigation strategy that we have to adopt until there's a safer time. But it is very, very hard for us, and we're losing so much information by not being able to see our faces when we're talking to each other. So it's very, 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 it's a big loss that has to be grieved.
Well, and you see a lot of parents joking or maybe very sarcastic about the thought of their kids trading masks once they're back at school.
Right.
So that could be an issue. Or someone says, hey, you have a really cool Spider-Man mask. I have my Batman mask. Let's switch.
Right.
So that could be an issue as well.
It's going to be. It's definitely going to be. Yeah. And we just have to be patient. We can't flip out. We just have to, predict it, that your kid's going to want to do that. Try to tell them not to trade. Here, we'll get you whatever kind of mask you want. Just come home and tell us.
So now if parents want to learn more about what they can do to help nudge their child into behaving and keeping their mask on, how can they do that, Mark?
How can they learn more?
Yep. Could they contact you?
Call me.
Yeah.
I'm the child whisperer when it comes to masks. I could go to a Buddhist monastery right now and they'd be like, Dr. Konecky, your patience is so extreme. You've passed the highest level and you've only been here for a day. Look at this child. You haven't yelled at them yet.
Do you have special games you play with little kids to get them to wear masks?
I haven't done any games, but I have done like a behavioral strategy of exactly what I just laid out for teachers to do. Like, I'm going to look at my watch every 5 minutes and I'm going to see if you're wearing your mask perfectly, and then you're going to get this little prize if you are. So we'll play that kind of a game. But that's a good idea, Heather. I mean, there's got to be games to play, especially about checking the fit. You could make up a little song about it, because they inevitably go below the child's nose because their little noses can't hold it up. And so it's like they have to adjust. So how do you check the fit when you don't, as a child, you don't self-monitor like we do. We're aware of all kinds of stuff. They're not aware, so they have no idea. But there's probably a lot of mnemonic games that, exactly as you're saying, that we could think up together.
Well, let's stay in touch, Dr. Konecky.
Okay.
And as we barrel towards the new school year, whatever that may be, are you in communication at all with any of the schools?
No, I wish we could talk, because I think I have a lot of good ideas about how to help out with this stuff, and I wish I knew somebody in high place other than you guys. You're the highest I know, but maybe you guys can put me in touch with somebody. I also think it'd be really cheap and effective to put little heat exchangers in every window, because it doesn't cost a lot of energy, but you just blow in a little air from outside and blow out a little air from inside, remember when we were kids, those giant fans they'd haul out in the hallways when you were, when it was like May and it was stultifyingly hot in the school. Like, we should have those in our hallways. And yeah, in the winter it's going to be a little chilly, but everybody wears a sweater. It's just Dr. Fauci kind of common sense stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. All the superintendents we've talked to in the area have all mentioned that school ventilation is the big issue that they're trying to tackle right now at this moment. So
right.
I'd love to fold you in a conversation with that sometime down the line.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.